There's been a lot of talk about our products lately, and we welcome it because it's clear the competitors are paying attention. They may try to put us down, but our numbers and customer satisfaction tells a different story. Unlike others, we believe in real results, and we stand by the quality, durability, and performance of Siegmund Welding Tables. However, we do feel we have the right to defend ourselves when companies like Fireball are making claims and videos that degrade and misrepresent the Siegmund name. Our clients know that when it comes to features, benefits, and precision, as well as reliability, there's no comparison. And that's the difference with Siegmund Welding Tables. We're here to help you succeed, and no competitor video will ever change that. Hey guys, I'm Greg with Quantum Machinery Group, and we've seen a lot of questions asked online as well at trade shows about some of our competitors' tables and how they stack up against the Siegmund table. So we wanted to start a mini-series where we compare our Siegmund tables against the competition. So what we have in the shop today is two Fireball Tools tables. We have a smaller one down here, and we have a medium-sized table up here on the fork truck. So what we're going to do is unbox this and go through everything that comes in the table and show you firsthand what you would get when unboxing a Fireball tool table. And then we're going to go in our inventory and randomly select a Siegmund table that's of equivalent size. That's one big question I've always had is the competition, when they're comparing their product against others, cherry picking their very best product to put on camera and then ordering in the competition? We don't want to do that. We want to be honest. So we're going to pull a random table to compare against this one. But before we unbox this, I did want to note something that we've seen on the box that we thought was really interesting. So we had these Fireball stickers. There was 3 of them covering another sticker. And once we peeled them back, you can see Stronghand tools up at the top. And that means some way they're affiliated with each other. And then down in the lower right-hand corner, you can see made in China. So this would be the tabletop that's in this lower box. And it is casted in China. So I don't know if they was trying to hide the fact that they're made in China, or that the fact that Stronghand and Fireball are kind of one and the same company, or they're in business together in some way. But the top is casted in China, and we've always been straightforward with Siegmund tables. They're made in Germany, the 16, 22s, and the 28s, and we've never tried to hide that fact. But it don't seem like there's a lot of information on where these are casted, but definitely China. It says so on the box. The legs, on the other hand, these upper boxes are the legs. We do have a box on the other side that's maybe some accessories and bolts. They don't say anything, so these may be made in the United States. We're not sure what all components are made here in the United States and what's made in China. But the top we can say for sure. One big thing is Siegmund uses 16, 22, and 28 millimeter holes in their tables, and a lot of other manufacturers do too. So if you're wanting to upgrade to a Siegmund, there's a big chance that it's really likely that your tools will work in a Siegmund table, where with something like this Fireball Tools table, it's a 3/4 inch hole table. You're going to have to invest in all new tooling, and that might not be in the budget for a lot of companies. So that's one thing to know if you're wanting to get a Fireball tool table. So we're going to unbox this, go through everything, and start comparing it to the Siegmund equivalent weld tables. So you can see right out of the box, we already have rust on the surface of the table. Now, the fabricator that I am, I would want this cleaned up before putting it to use. So that means right out of the box, you're going to have to spend a few hours cleaning this, oiling it down. Most items you get like this already have some type of oil on them. This one's dry as a bone right out of the box. So that's disappointing to see. With a Siegmund table, you're going to pull it out of the box and you can start welding on it immediately. It is going to come with a little residual oil on top of the Siegmund table, but it doesn't even need it to protect it against rust. So you can start working on a Siegmund table and it looked pristine right out of the package, where this, as you can see, we have quite a bit of rust. And you're always most likely going to have this discoloration where this rust is at, unless you put a lot of elbow grease in it and do some sanding. And then you're going to have to keep it oiled or waxed in the future to maintain the surface look. It's going to be a constant battle to keep rust off this table. So that's unfortunate to see right out of the box, but other than that, everything looks okay. It is a 1-inch thick table with 3/4 inch holes. So we're going to have to compare this to our System 28 because that's the equivalent in thickness of table that we have. So we're going to get this flipped up. We're going to install the legs and get it setting under its own weight and unbox the other Fireball table. So we got our Dragon Wagon unboxed, and unfortunately the Dragon scale did not protect against rust. I was pretty surprised to see that this table has quite a bit of thick rust on top of it, just like our heavy duty table did. But again, this Dragon scale, they don't define what it actually is. They say it's not plasma nitrated, and it's not really specific on what kind of coating this is, but it doesn't protect all that great. And I don't even know how we would treat this. This table, the heavy duty, you would use something like WD-40 and some red Scotch-Brite, and you can sand on it. And if you get any weld spatter, you can use a sanding block to knock down the high spots. But this, they don't recommend any way to clean it. So I don't even know how we would bring back the natural finish of this black coating. So that is unfortunate for Fireball Tool. Now we're going to unbox one of our System 16 2x3 tables. That's going to be our best comparison against this Dragon Wagon. They're both going to be around 1/2 inch thick. Then we're going to unbox a System 28 4x5 table to compare against their heavy duty tables. Now remember, both of these are 3/4 inch holes, bore holes on both tables, which is different than Siegmund. Siegmund has System 16 and 28. So we're just going to have to compare with the best that we can. So let's unbox the Siegmund table and see how it looks right out of the packaging. And I can about guarantee you it's not going to look like these two tables. Here at Quantum Machinery Group, we have a ton of Siegmund tables, and we ship orders within 1 to 3 business days. So make sure to go on Quantum Machinery Group and see the vast amount of table sizes and accessories that we have to offer. So you can see right out of the packaging, you're never going to get a rusty table from Siegmund. This thing has a light coat of oil. You can use WD-40 or some type of compound like that to break loose this oil that's on there. That's going to help protect it even further, but you're not even going to have to worry about rust even if this oil wasn't present, because this is plasma nitrated and bar coated. That's going to keep it protected from corrosion, weld spatter, dings, scratches, as well as rust. With the tables all set up, we have a few of our clamps. Now, the clamps that we got with this kit are more comparable to our basic screw clamp instead of our professional screw clamp, because these do not adjust in and out, just up and down. One thing the Siegmund clamps have over the Fireball is you have a thumb knob here that you can adjust up and down and then tighten it in that position. So if you're clamping and unclamping, you're not going to have to worry about this sliding down. You can lock it into place. So that's one thing, and these also are nitrided, so that means weld spatter is not going to stick to your accessories. And that's really important because you have this knurling going down the side here, and that helps the arm get grip on it. So if you was to get weld spatter in that, you may not be able to adjust your clamp. So Siegmund has protected you against that, where this does not have anything other than it looks like a nickel style coating on the fixture. Another thing that I noticed is we have smaller clamps and then our taller clamps here that came in this kit. Having play in it isn't a big deal because they're using friction to hold them in, but the small clamps have a ton of slop in them. The big clamps have very little. Both small, which doesn't make any sense to me because this is a removable universal part. So they're just ordering a batch of these and installing them onto their clamps. So I did think that was weird. There's so much flop in this one, probably 1/4 inch when there's only about an 1/8 inch in these. Another thing, these small ones come out real easy. You know, there's no tension on them. But when you get to these big ones, it's really tight. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe these came out of a different batch or something. But these are super tight, which would be annoying if you're trying to set up jigs and quickly change throughout a build. Just wanted to note that. And the fact that these are not coated with anything other than a nickel coating, which will help protect a little bit against weld spatter, but not like the Siegmund clamps. And another thing is, if we look at the clamp on this, it's just a basic flat profile. So if you're trying to clamp a piece of tube, that's going to be hard to get it centered, especially on something small like 1-inch tube. Where the Siegmund clamps have a removable prism, you can pop this off And you can actually install this in the table and have a prism to help get the tubing up off the table. And it has some valleys machined into it to grab on the profile of that tube. So that's one thing that our clamps have over the Fireball as well. So we have one of our System 28 4x5 tables to compare against the Fireball table. One massive thing you'll notice right off the bat is the fit and finish of these two tables. If you check the Siegmund bore holes in corners, they're super smooth, allowing for easy tool installation and removal in the bore holes. Where if we look at the Fireball table, it has a lot of burring around the holes and super sharp edges on all the bore holes as well as the side of the table. So you can really tell Siegmund goes above and beyond in the quality. When we're talking about the material that these tables are made from, of course, the Fireball table is casted in China, and cast can crack if you was able to drop something heavy on top of the table. Where a Siegmund is through hardened tool steel. This is a proprietary blend that Siegmund has came up with, so it's not an off-the-shelf steel. They've formulated this steel specifically for these tables. Then we have the plasma nitride and bar coating that's on these tables that's going to keep them from scratching, rusting, weld spatter from happening. And because they're through hardened, meaning they're hardened all the way to the core of the steel, not just on the surface, you're not going to get any dings on this table. Where if we had an excavator bucket or something we was working on this table and it slips and falls, it's not going to hurt the Siegmund table, where you could have cracking and chips happen on this cast table from Fireball. So now we're going to go on to test the quality of these tables and the materials that they're made out of. We're going to take Excalibur. This is our tool that we use to smack the sides of the table to show the strength of Siegmund tables, and we're going to put that to the test against this cast table. We're going to smack both edges of the table about 5 or 6 times to test the edge. Then we're going to take this square and we're going to drop it from about a foot above the table, and this is going to simulate if you have people that's rough on equipment at your shop. This is going to simulate when they drop a tool on the table and see how it hurts the surface of the table. So you can see we got significant damage on the HD Fireball table, but the Siegmund table held up really good on the corners as well as the surface. Now the HD took the most damage on the corner, but the top still suffered from dropping the tooling on it. But we wanted to test out the Dragon Scale coating because this is claimed to be a harder material. So we're going to do the same test on this Dragon Scale just to see if it is in fact harder. So you can see the Dragon Scale coating didn't help out much on the corner, but it did seem to help out on the surface of the weld table. It still did ding up and put dents in the surface, but not as bad as the heavy-duty Fireball table that we tested earlier. So you're still going to have to worry about employees being hard on the tops, even if you have the Dragon Scale coating. So the big question is, for you as a fabricator, is do you want to constantly maintenance your table? Do you want the fit and the finish to be premium right out of the box? And if you don't want to maintenance your table constantly, then Siegmund is the answer. All you have to do is wipe this thing down with WD-40 to give it a shine, but you don't even have to do that. I clean mine in between each build just by simply wiping it down with some WD-40, just because I like my tools to look the best that they can. With the Fireball, you're going to be sanding it constantly. It's going to scratch. You have the rough finish that it is right out of the box, and the tool fitment is not the same you would expect out of something like a Siegmund table. So make sure to check out the links in the video's description for all the Siegmund products that we have to offer here at Quantum Machinery Group. We have them in stock here in America, and we ship from 1 to 3 business days after your order. So make sure to check us out on social media as well, where you'll see new products and you'll get to see customers using our tables in the field. Thank you guys so much for checking out this comparison against Siegmund to Fireball Welding Tables. Make sure to stay safe and keep on fabricating.